Okay, so we've all had our minds blown by tools like ChatGPT, right? You ask it pretty much anything, and boom, you get this brilliant answer. But have you ever tried to get it to actually do something? Like book a flight for you or analyze a private document from your company? That's where you hit a wall. Because as powerful as these models are, there's this fundamental piece missing that keeps them from really acting in the real world. And yeah, this quote just nails it. Large language models, or LLMs, are these incredible reasoning engines, but by themselves, they're incomplete. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why they're incomplete, and we're going to look at the framework that was built to solve this exact problem, LangChain. You know, the best way to really wrap your head around this is to picture a standalone LLM as a brain in a jar. It's incredibly smart, it's packed with a ton of information, but it's completely isolated. It's cut off from everything. It can think, but it can't do anything. And this visual, it just lays it all out. Over on the left, you see that brilliant brain totally sealed off. It's a powerhouse of a reasoning engine, for sure, but it has no hands, no eyes, no ears, basically no way to connect with or act on the world around it. So what does that actually mean? Well, for starters, a standalone LLM can't connect to your private data or call an outside API. It has no lasting memory, so every single chat you have starts from scratch. And it really struggles to handle complex, multi-step thinking on its own. It's this brilliant mind, just stuck in that jar. So if the LLM is the brain, what does it need? Well, it needs a body, it needs a system to plug it into the world, give it a memory, and let it actually take action. And that is exactly what LangChain is designed to do. So what is LangChain really? At its core, it's an open-source framework that helps developers connect LLMs to all sorts of other tools and data sources. Think of it like the ultimate toolkit for building the body around that brain, turning it from just a model into a complete, functional system. And here we go. This is the after picture. Now look at the right side of the diagram. You can see how LangChain connects that brain to data and tools. It adds a memory layer so it can remember things, and it coordinates autonomous actions. It finally breaks the brain out of the jar. Okay, so how does it actually pull this off? Well, LangChain provides a set of core components. You can think of them like Legos for AI. Let's walk through the most important ones to see how they all snap together to create a functional AI agent. First up, we've got something called chains. Think about it. Real-world tasks are almost never just one step, right? Planning a trip, analyzing a report. These things involve a whole sequence of actions. Chains are how developers build out those multi-step workflows for an AI. So, a chain basically strings together multiple operations in a logical order. For example, a chain could first figure out what a user wants, then go retrieve the right data, then use that data to generate an answer, and finally do a quick check to make sure that answer actually makes sense. It's how you give an LLM a structured way to think through a problem. Okay, but what if the task needs more than just a fixed, preset sequence? Well, this is where things get really, really powerful. Let's talk about agents and tools. This is what lets the AI actually interact with the world and start making decisions for itself. An agent is a special kind of chain that uses the LLM's own reasoning ability to decide which tool to use and when. And a tool can be anything: a Google search, your company's internal database, an API that books flights, anything. The agent figures out what to do next, which makes it adaptive and not just a rigid automaton. Now, what good is an assistant if it forgets everything you just told it 2 seconds ago? It's incredibly frustrating, right? That's where memory comes in. This is absolutely key to creating conversations that feel personal and actually, make sense. LangChain provides different ways for an agent to have memory, so it can remember earlier parts of the conversation, your personal preferences, and things you've talked about before. Without this, every single request is like talking to a stranger. With memory, it becomes a genuinely useful assistant. All right, this next component, Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG for short, is one of the most important pieces for building AI you can actually trust. It directly attacks the problem of an LLM just making stuff up, what people call hallucinating, because it doesn't know about your specific private information. What RAG does is it lets the agent first search and pull information directly from your stuff, your documents, your team's knowledge base, your company's internal data, before it generates a response. This grounds the answer in verifiable facts, which massively improves accuracy and makes the AI far, far more reliable. Okay, that was a lot of theory. We've covered the core components: chains, agents, memory, and RAG. Now let's tie it all together with a real-world example. Building an AI agent that can plan and book an entire trip for you. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we all want, right? We don't just want a chatbot that can talk about travel. We want an agent that can find the best flight, book the perfect hotel, and manage the whole process from start to finish. So let's break down how this would work. First, a chain helps it understand your BizDeck request, a trip to Paris. Then, the agent kicks in and decides which tools to use. It calls the flight and hotel APIs to search for options. Then, it uses memory to remember your preferences, like you want an aisle seat and a hotel with a gym. Next, it uses RAG to pull up your company's travel policy to make sure the flights are compliant. And only then does it finally make the booking. See how it all comes together? And this, right here, this is the difference maker. On the left, without LangChain, you're basically just trying to write a super long, complicated prompt and hoping you get a decent result. But on the right, with LangChain, you're building a complete system. You go from getting vague suggestions to getting actual actionable bookings. You go from a generic response to a truly personalized travel plan. It's a whole new ballgame. So why is all this so important? Well, because LangChain is essentially the bridge that takes AI from being a cool tech demo to being a reliable, production-ready application that businesses can actually build on and use. So here's the bottom line, the key takeaway. LangChain provides the essential structure needed to build complex AI systems. It lets developers create agents that are modular, easier to maintain, and actually ready for the real world. It gives you a clear path from a simple prototype to a full-fledged product. You know, taking these kinds of AI systems from just an idea to a real product, that's a whole other challenge. If you want to go deeper into that side of things, from AI product strategy to design, the AI product management playbook shown here is a really incredible resource for anyone building in this space. Hey, thanks for watching. We've seen how frameworks like LangChain essentially give an AI brain a body, transforming a simple text generator into a functional agent that can actually act in the world. The real question this leaves us with is, now that these agents are here, what are we going to build with them next?